What's up everyone, I'm Karrablast, and in today's video I'm going to be showcasing some insanely spicy battles in the Open Great League, running a triple XL triple X-Scissor team, or as I like to call it, the triple XL Scissor team with Karrablast, Dwebble and Pawniard. Now I've been walking this Karrablast since the start of last season, and I was finally able to finish building it on Friday, since Karrablast is now a nesting species. This video has essentially been in the works for over 3 months, so if you appreciate the huge lengths I go to ensure I bring the spiciest and most unique GBL content possible, then please make sure you give the video a like right now, as it will help push this video out to more viewers. I obviously don't recommend you run this team for climbing, but every win I pulled off felt so much more rewarding than if I was using a typical team for climbing, so that's the obvious trade-off. We've got 30 full minutes worth of battles in this video, so sit back, relax, maybe grab a snack and enjoy the spice. With that being said, let's just get into the question of the day. What is your favourite best buddy in Pokemon Go? Let me know in the comment section down below, and with that being said, let's get into the battles now. Alright, so going into the first battle, we lead Karrablast into Shadow Steelix. Now this is not a good matchup for most bug types, but we will make it to the drill run as the opponent makes it to a breaking swipe. I thought they'd go for it straight away, so I go for the CMP tie. The opponent lets it go through, it does huge damage, and then they panic swap into a Medicham, and this is also where I would like the Medicham aligned to my team. We go for the X-Scissor, that does big damage, and the opponent throws on the CMP tie, which Karrablast does win, so we end up grabbing a shield from the Medicham as well. Now I'm happy to let Karrablast go down. It has put in so much work in this battle already. We're now going to come in with the Dwebble because of course we can't come in with the Pawniard. This is still a bad matchup, so I will shield this up. They go for the Psychic, they get the defense drop, which is unfortunate for me, but now I'm going to overfarm just a little bit and go for the X-Scissor. X-Scissor does take them out. I'm going to go for one extra smackdown and then swap, trying to catch the move, and I'm able to perfectly catch a breaking swipe onto my Pawniard. That does not do much damage. The opponent goes for another charge move here. It looks like they are very weak to the Pawniard in the back, so they go for the double debuffs. I'm gonna overfarm in this matchup, go for the Night Slash, and with the double debuff, that actually doesn't quite take them out, but I'm able to get the Fury Cutter farm down, and this is why they were so scared of the Pawniard. They've got a Trevenant in the back. We go for the Night Slash, we actually grab the shield, and we get a boost, and now this Night Slash will do the regular damage that it would normally do. It does a lot of damage. We swap into Dwebble, and we're able to make it to the X-Scissor in time, and this will be taking out the Trevenant, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, we see Karrablast into Defense Form Deoxys. Now this is one of Karrablast's very few matchups where it does actually just win in the one shield scenario. So we're going to go straight for an X-Scissor here, and X-Scissor does huge damage to the Deoxys. Now they have farmed to the back-to-back Psycho boost. I might as well shield the first one here, which I do. Now the second one isn't going to do too much damage, so I will just let it go through. Psycho Boost doesn't do too much. I will be able to fully Fury Cutter farm them down, and the opponent's going to come in with a Shadow Alolan Sand Slash, so I go straight for the Drill Run, and Drill Run does huge damage there. We swap into Dwebble, going for the Snipe. They won't make it to an Ice Punch, so they have to swap into their Umbreon, and this looks like it's game over already. Of course, they go for a shield straight away up against my Dwebble. They are not messing around here. They're going to go for the Foul Play. Foul Play, not going to do too much damage here. We will make it to another X-Scissor, throwing on the CMP tie. This is absolutely perfect for me. And X-Scissor grabs the second shield from the opponent. At this point, I'm going to let the Dwebble go down. They go for the Foul Play. They might have even undercharged that as they get a very nice Snarl farm down, but it's just not going to be enough for my opponent here. I can even let Karrablast go down as well, force them to throw their energy, come in with the Pawniard. They swap into their Sand Slash, hoping to make it to a charge move, but they don't get there in time. And now I can go for the X-Scissor. X-Scissor still doesn't quite take them out. Umbreon is very bulky, but I'm not sure why they're throwing here. We do resist everything Umbreon can throw. Foul Play doesn't do much. I'm able to Fury Cutter, farm down the Umbreon, and take that game. Into the next game, we see Alolan Sand Slash in the lead. We're actually going to swap into our Dwebble here just because they would outpace us to an Ice Punch before we make it to a Drill Run, and we end up baiting out a Medicham, which is really important because Pawniard wants absolutely nothing to do with the Medicham here. Now we do land the first X-Scissor. The opponent makes it to the charge move, and they full send the Psychic to guarantee the KO up against the Dwebble. So perfect gameplay by the opponent so far. We come in with the Karrablast here, and I'm hoping that I will be able to fully Fury Cutter farm them down. Gonna shield shield once, they go for an Ice Punch here, and now I will overfarm. I might throw just before they make it to the Psychic, but they settle for an Ice Punch here. Now at this point I'm thinking, can we go for the full farm down? It's gonna be close, but we barely don't get there, and I do not want to waste all of this energy, so I do double shield my Karrablast. The opponent goes for a snipe with the Sableye. I panic, I go for a drill run. We have just shown that we are running drill run, so it's gonna be very hard to land it up against that Sand Slash if we do even get into that situation. But we go for a Night Slash into the Sableye. It does some nice damage there. The opponent gonna go for a charge move, and the opponent goes for the foul play. This is not looking too good for a hit for me here, because if I go for a Night Slash and they do shield it, it is game over. But they actually let it go through, and we get the boost, which is huge for me. And then we CMP tie, everything going my way, and then we grab the shield as well. We also get another boost for no reason whatsoever. Drill run takes us out, but we can come in, throw our own drill run into the Alolan Sand Slash, taking out the Sand Slash, and one Fury Cutter takes out the Medicham, and somehow I take that game. Now that was definitely down to a few mistakes on my opponent's end, but still that was absolutely insane. Now into the next game we see a Lantern in the lead. Now this isn't too bad for us here. Even though we're running drill run, we still don't win this in the even shield scenarios. But the difficult thing about Lantern is that typically there's going to be a Medicham in the back. Now I'm not too sure what to do here. The opponent does correctly overfarm as much as possible there, and then they swap, they catch the move onto Sableye, so very nice catch. We go for the X-Scissor, we then swap into our Pawniard, and once again we do completely wall the Sableye here, as we do resist both the foul play and the potential return and the Shadow Claws as well. I'm going to overfarm here, going up to double Night Slashes. I actually undercharged this, hoping it wouldn't quite take them out, but it does. And the opponent is going to come back in with their Lantern, most likely. We go for the X-Scissor. I wasn't quite sure how much health they had remaining. X-Scissor does do slightly more damage now that it did receive that buff. Although these battles are slightly out of order, so I think I only realized that maybe 2 sets in, so you might see me go for a Night Slash when I needed to go for the X-Scissor to do more damage. But here we go for the X-Scissor, we take out the Lantern, and we come in with the Dwebble. Now this is going to be a race. I'm expecting a bait here, so I'm actually going to let the first move go through. They do bait with the Seed Bomb, but that actually does so much damage there, and I don't think I'm going to make it to back-to-back X-Scissors now. If X-Scissor still costs 35 energy, then we would have made it to the X-Scissor to take out the Trevenant, but unfortunately, whilst it was a buff for the damage, the nerf to its energy meant I did lose that game. But GG's to that opponent, and into the next game we see a Shadow Venusaur in the lead. Pretty good lead matchup for the Karrablast. As we go for the X-Scissor, grabbing an early shield. Now this is just a Frenzy Plant, I know that, but I'm going to shield anyways because Karrablast isn't the bulkiest Pokemon ever, and the opponent's going to safe swap into Frostlass. Now we do completely wall Frostlass as well with the Pawniard. We're not running the Iron Head, which is a bit unfortunate because Night Slash doesn't quite take them out here. I will have to throw a second one, but I will be able to take them out in all even shield scenarios here. So we go for the Night Slash, and this will be enough to take out the Frostlass. And if they come back in with the Venusaur, they can go for the farm down, but I will make it to another Night Slash. Now here, I knew I was only making it to one move, so I should have gone for the X-Scissor, but it doesn't really matter in this case. We grab the shield anyways. Gonna come back in with the Karrablast. I will shield this up. Now they were slightly ahead on energy, so I'm only gonna overfarm just a very small amount there. We go for the X-Scissor. It's enough to take out the Venusaur, and they've got a Lantern in the back. Now I will be able to make it to the drill run in time. We've seen already this does a ton of super effective damage to the Lantern. We swap, we try to catch the move there. We might have just thrown this game away though, so let's see. The opponent goes for a Surf. That doesn't actually take us out. Dwebble is kind of bulky, and we make it to the X-Scissor on the CMP tie with the next charge move, taking out the Lantern, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, we see a Medicham in the lead, so we are going to stay in this lead matchup. This is where we want to see it, and I'm going to overfarm. The opponent just goes straight for an Ice Punch, so I'm happy to let that go through. And we are going to overfarm, and the opponent swaps into Frostlass, and I should have swapped into my Pawniard. I think this is one of the earlier battles. I come in with the Dwebble. Of course, we are a rock type, but we don't resist the damage from the Avalanche or the Shadow Ball, so I kind of have to respect that there. We go for the Rock Blast just before they make it to the next charge move, and unfortunately they do shield, so I'm going to double shield in this matchup. We might barely live an Avalanche from that range, but I wasn't quite sure, so I don't take the risk. We need to guarantee switch advantage because we can't let that Medicham be aligned to the Pawniard. Now, unfortunately for the Medicham, they won't be able to fully counter farm me down. They will have to throw a charge move at some point, which is good for me because if they did farm me down, this would pretty much be game over. Ice Punch barely doesn't take us out there, but we come in with the Karrablast, and they've got a low and Sand Slash once again, so we're going to go straight for the drill run. They let it go through once again. I'm going to swap here, try to catch the Ice Punch, but the opponent didn't throw straight away. Really disciplined gameplay from the opponent there as they go for a drill run, but it barely doesn't take me out there. So now I'm going to go for the Night Slash. This will be taking out the Sand Slash there. But can I make it to back-to-back X-Scissors in time? It doesn't look likely. We go for the first one. X-Scissor grabs the shield, and we barely miss out there. Not quite making it to the second X-Scissor as the Medicham counter farms me down, and we do lose that game. But GG's to that opponent there. And into the next game, we see Deoxys in the lead. The opponent safe swaps into a Lickitung. Now, I'm going to go for an X-Scissor just because this does quite a lot of damage to the bulky Lickitung before we swap into Pawniard. Now, we do, once again, completely wall the Lickitung with our Pawniard. Pawniard looking like a pretty good typing here in this current meta. Of course, you have to avoid that Medicham at all costs, but if you can do that, then it's looking pretty solid. Now, unfortunately, it's not very bulky, and also we don't have the best IV spread. I think this is a lucky Pawniard that I built a very long time ago for Team Rocket challenges, so it's not too bulky here. We go for the Night Slash, and we actually CMP tie them on the next move, and at this point, I don't really care if they shield or not. I'm going to let the Pawniard go down. We've got both shields from the opponent here. Now we can come in with either Pokemon. We actually come in with the Karrablast. I was thinking maybe it's going to be Bastiodon in the back, and if it was, then I would need that drill run, but no, it was actually a Dugong instead. So here, I'm thinking my win condition is just going for the X-Scissor and then double shielding, fully smackdown, farming down the Deoxys, and then I will be able to land one Rock Blast into the Dugong coming back in. So hopefully that will be enough damage to put them into range where a drill run or an X-Scissor should be taking them out on my Karrablast. But let's see, I think they're one away from the Icy Wind, so I go for one extra smackdown. We go for the Rock Blast, but the opponent does rightly overfarm in this matchup. They do eventually throw here. They go for the Icy Wind, it takes out the Dwebble, and now is this X-Scissor going to be enough damage from this range to take out the bulky Dugong? It barely doesn't, but we're able to Fury Cutter, farm down the Dugong, and take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, we see Shadow Beedrill in the lead. So we safe swap into Dwebble. We've got two better responses, and the opponent responds with a Berserker. Now, this is not a good matchup whatsoever, but X-Scissor is actually going to chunk here, and these smackdowns, even though they're resisted, are actually doing quite a lot of damage. Now, Berserker typically isn't going to run Iron Head, so they go for the foul play, and we barely make it to an X-Scissor. Now, I don't believe this will take them out, but the opponent doesn't know that, and they do use a shield just to be sure, which is quite good for me, as now I'm going to come in with my Karrablast, waiting out the switch clock here, and the worst thing they can do is go for a foul play because they are very likely also running close combat. So they go for the foul play. I won't make it to the X-Scissor, so I swap and I catch the next foul play onto my Pawniard. This is great because it's resisted damage, and whilst a close combat, if they did throw it, would be double super effective and easily one-shot the Pawniard. At this point, I think my win condition is just fully farming them down. The opponent comes back in with their Shadow Beedrill. We go for the Night Slash. That does huge damage, not quite enough to take them out, but I think I can shield once and fully Fury Cutter, farm them down, and hopefully take out whatever is in the back. So we are going to see the opponent is going to come in with a Shadow Mamoswine. That is incredibly spicy from the opponent. We go for the Night Slash. That does so much damage. We make it to another Night Slash, and here I'm going to hope to snipe with an X-Scissor on my Karrablast, but the opponent makes the perfect catch onto their Berserker. Incredible play by the opponent. We're now in range where they can fully Powder Snow farm us down, come out with a charge move loaded, and what a play by the opponent. High Horsepower takes out the Pawniard, and we do lose that game, but GG's to that opponent. Also, very cool spice as well. You love to see it. I don't mind losing in the Go Battle League when it is to a spicy team like that. But into the next game, we see another Alone and Sand Slash in the lead. Once again, gonna safe swap into my Dwebble, and unfortunately, we're met with a Azumarill. This is not ideal for us whatsoever, but I'm hoping we might be able to make it to a second Rock Blast before they bubble, farm us down, and we do barely get there. That is going to be really handy for us, because now this puts them into range where we can probably go for one Drill Run. I don't think it will still take them out in all honesty, but hopefully, let's just see. We come in with the Karrablast here. The opponent baits with an Ice Beam, so absolutely fine with me. They're going to go straight for Ice Beam number 2, so now I know I can go for Fury Cutters up until they reach the next charge move, but no, they swap straight away back into their Sand Slash, with full sending the Drill Run, taking out the Sand Slash. They come back in with a Azumarill. I will make it to another Drill Run, and this will either take them out here or grab the final shield. We do grab that shield, and now we can swap into the Pawniard. So I'm actually going to let this go through. It's just an Ice Beam bait, which is so good for me. Now I'm going to overfarm in this matchup, go for the Night Sash. And Night Sash, I don't think it's quite going to be enough damage to take them out, but we grab the shield and we get a boost. Absolutely amazing for me, and now at this point I don't know what's in the bag. I'm gonna overfarm. It's a Venusaur. This is looking perfect for us now because we can go for the Night Sash. It does huge damage, over 50% of their health. We can go for Night Sash number 2. This will definitely take out the Venusaur, and now we can make it to a third Night Sash in time, and this, even though it's resisted, will be enough damage to take out the Azumarill, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, we see a Cherrim in the lead, so pretty spicy pick here from the opponent. And they're also running Razor Leaf, which makes this matchup significantly more comfortable, because otherwise, if it was Bullet Seed, they would reach that Weather Ball very quickly. We go for the X-Scissor, grabbing a shield, and we make it to a second X-Scissor before they make it to the Weather Ball, or at least before they throw. And here I'm going to actually use a shield in this matchup. They're staying in, so clearly quite weak to the Karrablast lead. So we're going to see what they've got in the back. But first we go for another X-Scissor, taking out the Cherrim. And the opponent comes in with a Meganium. So that makes a lot of sense why they didn't swap out. Very weird team by the opponent so far. They also didn't even farm to the Earthquake, so I safely let that move go through. And now they come in with Azumarill. This is not ideal for us whatsoever. We go for a Night Sash here, we go for another Night Sash, hoping for a boost here. It's not going to make too much difference in all honesty, but let's just see. We're going to go for another Night Sash here, and it looks like the Azumarill will fully commit to bubble farming us down, and we do finally get the boost, and we do make it to one more Night Sash, so that might be the thing that flips this matchup here, as we put them incredibly low. Now they've got 100 energy guaranteed. We come in with the Dwebble straight away. I wasn't sure if they would throw straight away. They go for an Ice Beam here, and they go for another Ice Beam straight away once again, so this is absolutely fine with me. We can tank that very comfortably, go for the full Smackdown farm down. They come back in with Meganium. That Azumarill is very low, but we've got to be wary of it. We go for the X-Scissor, and we won't quite get the farm down, so I swap into my Karrablast, catching the Frenzy Plant. This will be taking out the Karrablast. I get the Smackdown farm down, and I come out with a Rock Blast loaded to throw straight away into the Azumarill, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to that opponent there, and into the next game we see a Tropius in the lead, so not quite as comfortable as that Cherrim, because they are of course only taking neutral damage from these Fury Cutters and X-Scissors, but we do at least resist the Razor Leafs. It's not like they're running Air Slash, which would be a lot worse. Now the opponent makes a really nice catch there, catching the X-Scissor, double resisted onto Talonflame. Because of that extra damage though, we're actually able to fully Smackdown farm them down, which is really good for me, and yet another Azumarill in the back here. So obviously this team doesn't do particularly well up against Azumarill. I wasn't expecting to see it as commonly as I did, but it looks like Azumarill, with the recent meta shifts, is actually really strong in the current meta now. The opponent doesn't commit to the full farm down though, and we do get them fairly low, so that's quite good for us. I'm going to come in with my Karrablast, and at this point I'm just going to fully sacrifice the Karrablast here. They go for a Play Rough, it takes me out. They come back in with the Tropius. Now I do resist everything they can throw, but Pawniard isn't the bulkiest Pokemon ever, so I will double shield in this matchup if I have to. I'm hoping that a Night Sash will be enough damage from this range to take out the Azumarill. But hopefully if I get a boost, then I won't have to worry about that. Now I'm going to overfarm in this matchup. Honestly, I don't really know how much energy they've got, so we go for the Night Sash here. I'm hoping they let this go through, because that way I will get more Fury Cutter damage onto the Azumarill before we make it to the next charge move. We go for a Night Sash here, and this grabs the final shield, still no boost, and honestly I should have gone for X-Scissor here. It does slightly more damage than the Night Sash, and would that have made the difference here? I don't think so. I think Azumarill's probably still got about 4 HP remaining, but we do end up going down there, so GG's to that opponent. And into the next game, we see Karrablast into a Noctowl, so not great for us. Gonna swap into the Dwebble, and the opponent responds with a Vigoroth. And this actually isn't that bad of a matchup. I know they haven't farmed to the Bulldoze, so I'm gonna let the Body Slam go through. We do resist it, and we're gonna go straight for an X-Scissor here. And X-Scissor is gonna do some very nice neutral damage. It puts them into range where I can shield once and fully farm them down, and this is gonna be massive for me because Karrablast can do literally nothing up against a Noctowl, but now I will be able to align it to my Pawniard. And once again, this is another matchup where Pawniard just completely walls all of the energy from the Noctowl, as it does resist both the Sky attack, the Wing attacks, and also the Shadow Ball. So we can let this move go through. They do go for the Shadow Ball, and the opponent is going to stay in this matchup here. We go for a Night Slash. I'm hoping this takes out the Noctowl from this range, but it doesn't quite take them out. We get the boost there, and they've got another Razor Leaf Tropius. So this is another Pokemon that I started seeing a lot more commonly in the Great League. I haven't really seen it at all until today, but I think Jonkus did make a video towards the end of the last Great League rotation with Razor Leaf Tropius, so maybe it makes sense. He does often put out a video and then basically everyone just copies his team. But here we're going to go for the X-Scissor, grabbing the shield from the opponent. We make it to another X-Scissor, and I'm hoping to grab the final shield from the opponent, which we do, and they also throw their energy. This is perfect for me, and Leaf Blade will take me out. We come in with the Pawniard, and the opponent is going to swap here, trying to catch a move. Honestly, wasn't sure how much energy the Noctowl had, so I throw the Night Slash here, and I will still be able to outpace the Tropius to a Night Slash, and from this range, Night Slash takes out the Tropius, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, we see an Umbreon in the lead. So very nice lead for us, and actually for my entire team pretty much here. Although Umbreon is just so bulky that it does put up a fight up against these Pokemon, but we do still at least win. Now the opponent safe swaps into Golbat. We respond with the Dwebble, and if they do go straight for a Shadow Ball, then it makes this matchup very dicey there. But I should still be able to win this in the one shield scenario. So we go for the Rock Blast, and this should be grabbing a shield or taking them out. It does grab the shield there. They're gonna go for a Poison Fang. This will debuff my defense, but I'm hoping I will still be able to smack down, farm them down, and I'm barely able to do so. Come out with very minimal HP, which is perfect for us. We can now go for an X-Scissor, and that does some nice damage to the Umbreon. Now Pawniard completely walls the Umbreon. I should come in with the Pawniard, but I'm expecting some sort of other flying type in the back, so I'm actually going to come in with the Karrablast, go for the X-Scissor, and then swap and catch the move onto my Pawniard, as they go for the foul play, but they've actually got defense from the Deoxys in the back, and this is not ideal whatsoever. We're going to go for the X-Scissor, grabbing the shield, and that's kind of better for me because I know X-Scissor from a Karrablast should be doing more damage as it is stab, but actually I don't know that for sure. Karrablast only makes it to like 1350 CP, so not the best here, but we go for the X-Scissor, and it's barely not enough damage to take them out. They're at the second Psycho Boost, and from this range, it will be enough to take us out there. So unfortunately, we lose that game, even though the opponent had two Pokemon that were very weak to Bug. So I think I just misplayed that there. But GG's to that opponent, and into the next game. Speaking of weak to Bug, we see a Mew in the lead. So not too common to see in the Go Battle League, but very good for us with this double Bug and also Pawniard in my team. We're now going to go straight for a draw run into the Shadow Muck, and that does huge damage. I don't think I was going to be able to farm them down there, so I swap into my Pawniard, and worst case scenario, they go for a Thunder Punch, but actually they go for a Dark Pulse. We do resist it, and now they come in with a Registeel. Now Registeel, bit tricky here, but they've got 0 fast move pressure, so I don't mind that whatsoever, especially when I've still got both shields in play. We're going to go for another Night Slash here, fishing for the boost. And we do get that attack boost there. Night Slash boost coming in clutch. Now another Night Slash from this range should be enough to take them out. And they actually just go for the Focus Blast there instead of what a typical Registeel user would do, which is just going straight for that Zap Cannon, fishing for the debuff, and we throw on the CMP tie. At this point, I'm going to let Pawniard go down. I know Mew has a charge move loaded, so I don't want to risk getting sniped. I'm going to come in with my Dwebble, swap, catch the move onto my Karrablast. They go for the Focus Blast, even resisted, that does take me out. Now I'm going to overfarm in this matchup, go for the X-Scissor. The opponent actually swaps there and CMP ties as well, so really nice play by the opponent as they go for the Surf, but I think an X-Scissor along with a few more smackdowns should be enough damage to take out the Mew, and I come out with another X-Scissor loaded to throw straight away into the Registeel, coming back in, and Dwebble is a Registeel counter confirmed. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, we see Karrablast into Altaria. This is absolutely awful for me. Gonna save swap into my Dwebble, and the opponent responds with Azumarill. So once again, met with another Azumarill, but at least we do deal neutral damage here with these Smackdowns and Rock Blast. Although Rock Blast isn't a great move, we actually grab a shield there because the opponent just doesn't know what charge moves Dwebble can be running. So that's one of the benefits of running such a spicy team, is that the opponents have no clue what kind of moves you could possibly run. So we actually grab the shield advantage there. We're going to come back in with the Karrablast. I'm going to let the first move go through, and it is just an Ice Beam, so that's perfect for me. The opponent goes for a catch there. They swap back into the Altaria, so I'm going to come in with my Pawniard, go for a Night Slash, and we do resist the Dragon Breath, resist the Sky Attack as well, but they do potentially have Moonblast, so I'm going to shield this up. And they do full send the Moonblast there, which is perfect for me. Now I can overfarm quite significantly. I farm to the back-to-back Night Slashes. I know this won't quite be enough damage to take them out there, so I'm gonna go for the second one straight away. Don't really want to use my second shield as soon as possible here. Now we take out the Altaria. They come back in with the Azumarill. Gonna go for a Night Slash. I'm hoping this will be enough damage to take out the Azu. It doesn't quite take them out. Now I'm gonna shield. I don't know what's in the back, but I'm hoping a boosted Pawniard will be able to take it out, but it's a Bastiodon. This is not great for us, but if I can grab a shield somehow, maybe, just maybe, Karrablast can take them out. We get another boost up against this Bastiodon. This Pawniard is going absolutely insane right now. We grab the shield and we swap into the Karrablast. Is a Drill Run gonna be enough damage to take them out from this range? No, it's barely not enough damage, and they still get the Smackdown farm down, and they come out with a charge move loaded. Flamethrower takes out the Pawniard, and we do just barely lose that game. That was agonizingly close, but GG's to that opponent there. And into the next game, we see a Shadow Gligar in the lead. Gonna save swap into the Dwebble, and the opponent throws a charge move straight away, so that's fine with me. Aerial Ace does some nice damage here, and now they swap into their Medicham. So I'm gonna go for 3 Smackdowns, go for an X-Scissor, and this will do some okay damage, but they should be able to fully counter farm me down, which is not ideal for me. They come out with quite a lot of energy, and they're not really in range where I can Fury Cutter farm them down either. So I'm going to come in with the Karrablast, let the first move go through, and it is just an Ice Punch bait, which is quite fortunate for me. Now I'm going to go for the X-Scissor, and hopefully this will take them out from this range, but X-Scissor doesn't quite take them out. They've already got another charge move loaded, so they're going to throw it straight away, just another Ice Punch, and I will still be able to Fury Cutter farm them down. Going to swap into Pawniard, and the opponent swaps into their Trevenant, and then they just concede the match there as they realize their mistake, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Honestly, if they stayed in, it still would have been quite tricky because Pawniard, even though it does resist everything from that Trevenant, doesn't really want to tank a Shadow Ball. So they could have got me into range where they probably could have just wing attack farm me down. But into the next game, we see Serperior in the lead, which does see a lot more play this season because of the Aerial Ace buff, but it's still not going to deal that much damage. So I'm able to fully Fury Cutter, farm them down. They come in with a Cofagrigus, so I'm going to go straight for that Drill Run. No point swapping out because I do have Pawniard here that I do want aligned to the Cofagrigus, and now we're going to come in with it as they get the Shadow Claw farm down. We resist everything once again. Pawniard just warding so many Pokemon in this meta. They even bait with a Dark Pulse there for some reason. Not sure why. We can now go for the Night Slash, and we are going to go for another Night Slash, winning the CMP tie up against the Gliscor here, and Night Slash will get them incredibly low already. Now, we resist the Aerial Ace, the Night Slash, but they're actually running Sand Tomb, which does hit for super effective damage, but luckily not that much damage. Now we come in with the Dwebble. I'm going to let this move go through, expecting another Sand Tomb, but no, they actually go for the Night Slash there, which is kind of strange because now I will be able to fully smack down, farm down the Cofagrigus from half their health, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, we see Mandibuzz in the lead, so not great for us. I'm going to swap into my Dwebble straight away, and once again we're met with a Azumarill. So obviously Dwebble isn't a great save swap anyways, but I mean, based on the team, I didn't want to swap into my Pawniard and then have a Medicham fully farm me down because that was just game over before we even started. But here we're being met with so many Azumarills, so obviously, I don't recommend this team whatsoever, but I still really enjoyed using it, even when we did get hard countered quite a few games here, like we're doing in this battle so far. But the opponent is going to go for a charge move straight away. Once again, just going to let this move go through. The opponent goes for an Ice Beam, doesn't do too much damage, and hopefully I make it to the Drill Run just before they make it to the next charge move. So Drill Run will be taking out the Azumarill, and now here I'm going to swap and catch the move onto my Pawniard, just hoping they don't have like a fighting type Pokemon in the back. But they do, they've got Medicham, and at this point it's game over. I don't even know why I'm going for a charge move. Even if they let us go through, which they do, there's just no way my Karrablast can take this game here. So if they do throw a charge move, I'm just gonna let it go through. Excuse me there, and they do take me out. So GG's to that opponent. There were a few games that did end up like that, not a lot I could have done. But into the next game, insanely spicy team from the opponent's end so far with an Alakazam, Shadow Alakazam in the lead. I'm actually going to shield once and just fully Fury Cutter farm them down here. As they're staying in, they're probably very weak to Karrablast in the back. So let's see what they've got. They actually come in with a Shadow Hypno, so I think this might just be a Psychic Cup team, and they've gone into the wrong league, which if that's the case, then I'm very sorry opponent, but this double bug and Pawniard team is absolutely going to shred through your triple Psychic team here as we come in with the Pawniard. Even if they're running Fire Punch, we do not care. They go for a Shadow Ball, it is resisted damage, we get the full Fury Cutter farm down, and they've got a Shadow Lugia in the back. So very cool triple Shadow team from the opponent's end, and we get another Night Sash boost just to add insult to injury there to the opponent. We go for another Night Sash, grabbing the final shield from the opponent, and we will be able to make it to yet another Night Sash before they get the Dragon Tail farm down, taking out the Lugia, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to that opponent there, and into the final battle of this video, we see a Diggersby in the lead. Now, Fire Punch is going to hit for super effective damage, but it's not going to do too much, so I'm going to go for the X-Scissor. I do overfarm just a bit here, maybe baiting like I've got another, maybe like a Mega Horn or a Signal Beam or something. The opponent is going to go for a Hyper Beam. It one-shots the Karrablast. I let the first move go through because I was like, I'll live one Fire Punch, no point in shielding the first one, but no, they're running Hyper Beam. I completely forgot that now Diggersby can learn Scorching Sands. They could actually run a Hyper Beam as the second charge move and have it as a pretty like standard moveset, and now the opponent swaps into their Alola Ninetales. I'm like, Diggersby, Alola Ninetales, it's probably Diggersby double charm here, so I'm going to shield this up, but it's probably game over already for me. Going to commit to the full Smackdown farm down, and we do barely get it, which is very nice for me. They come back in with the Diggersby, we go straight for an X-Scissor, and X-Scissor does take out the Diggersby. We go for the Rock Blast, assuming it's another charm user in the back, which it is. It's the Shadow Gramble. They actually let that move go through. Doesn't really help me though. We're going to go for a Night Sash here. Night Sash grabs a shield, and we get the boost, and just to make myself feel a little bit better about the situation, I'm going to go for another charge move here, make it look like the game was close, but in reality that was not the case. So GG's to that opponent there. So that's going to be it for today's video. If you did enjoy it, make sure you leave a like, leave a comment letting me know, and as well, don't forget to respond to the question of the day if you haven't done so already. And if you want to see more content like this in the future, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications. That way you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. But with that being said, thank you all so much for watching today's video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.